Hello, I am Chatty and this is my channel, Chatty the Mad Chatter. So my full name is Charlotte. I also go by Char or Lottie, but I felt Chatty was quite apt because I love to chat, mainly about books. Yes, this is another BookTube channel in case you were not sure from the big amount of books here. So I mainly like to read fantasy books. It is my favourite genre. But I do sort of read a range of different books. I do enjoy them, but it is predominantly fantasy, especially this year. I seem to have really just gone full on fantasy and I'm having a wonderful time. Anyway, I'm already got off target. So this is the BookTuber Newbie Tag. There are 10 questions. I will answer them so you get a little bit of an introduction to me and hopefully what will be coming up on my channel. Because I love talking about books. Absolutely love talking about books. The problem is people I know in real life can only have a certain amount of time for me to talk about books in before their eyes glaze over. So having a place where people might actually want to listen and might have conversations with me about it is so good. I have really enjoyed being on the Shelf Space Discord. That's where I'm most active. If you are booktubery, you know all about Dischord. If you're not booktubery, it's basically, I think it was a chat space that was kind of set up for gamers, but it's now become like other things. So the one I am talking about is a chat space for people who enjoy reading books. And Shelf Space was started by the booktuber Jessie Mae. It's a mixture of her and her friends now. That is my happy place, and I've had so many wonderful conversations with people on there about books. And it really has inspired me to push myself and go for it and do this. Is hello editing Chatty here. Just need to make a few minor adjustments. Yeah, so what Filming Chatty should have also said was Anne Gregory LaPerch's Discord as well, because there's been some fantastic conversations on that. And thanks guys for all your encouragement and support. I have also actually been, I suppose, a closet booktuber for over a year. So I first found BookTube World during the pandemic in 2020 over the summer. I don't know how I did it, but I somehow came across a video of someone showing off like the huge amount of books that they owned. And I was like, oh, wow, this is amazing. Are there more videos like this out there? And then I noticed, oh, there's some books I liked and some books I'm not interested in. Is there anyone out there who has books I'm interested in? And then I found Jessie Mae's channel and her white wall of Sanderson, and I thought, that's the one for me. And from there I found so many other wonderful booktubers, and I have got so many more book recommendations, and my book library has grown so much and my enjoyment of reading has grown so much, and it is thanks to BookTube. So thank you all of you for making videos, for recommending amazing books, for talking about books, and it has just been wonderful. It is like, I feel it's like my sanctuary. It's where I come to be sane. And I feel I've gone randomly off topic. Where were we? Why am I doing this channel? So I can talk about books, essentially. Oh yes, so I have been making videos. I also suffer with mental health and anxiety from time to time. It has been under control for a long time, but there's always moments where you feel more anxious than others. And I think one of the things I wanted to protect myself on was feeling that I had to produce videos and had to make content, but I really wanted to do it. I thought it was very nice to talk about everything you're reading, kind of like a therapy session or like a book diary. And so I made some videos and I shared them with a group of friends on Facebook who might also be interested in reading. And then, so I did January, February, March, and then I got to April. And my April wrap up was so long, I still have not edited it. It's ridiculous. I got more and more chatty to the point of I thought, well, maybe I need to do a wrap up and then I need to do individual chats about each of the books I read. And that was just a lot because I filmed it all in one go, and then editing me was like, I can't even know. Truth, I am not touching that till she pays me overtime. So I didn't, and I felt because I hadn't edited that one, I couldn't edit and put up other ones. So I basically stopped posting anything and haven't posted anything as of yet. But I kept making the videos. I loved making the videos. I loved talking to the camera, talking about how I felt about books and getting excited about readathons. And I've got so much content. I just need to edit it and post it. So this is the first video that I am making that is going to go straight on my channel. I now have my channel name, it's up, I just need to actually do this. So here's hoping this happens. If you're watching this, I did it, yay! I think we've exhausted that question. Moving on. This is a question everyone hates because it sounds so scary. Well, I hope my channel's gonna be fun. I mean, I'm not gonna be doing this so I can bore everyone to tears. That's why I'm doing it, so I don't bore everyone to tears. And I think it just kind of depends if you gel with me. I mean, if I'm annoying, stop watching my channel. But if you enjoy listening to me, yay, we can talk about books and have a wonderful fun time. And that is essentially what will be happening. I'm going to be doing what most booktubers do. I'm planning wrap-ups, TBRs. So I have a project that I'm excited about. I'm excited about sharing it with you. So it's based on the Goodreads book recommendations and the fantasy genre. So I'm kind of looking at the last 7 years, some of the most popular books around, and reading them this year and seeing what I think of them and whether or not I agree. So I'm planning a whole series of videos about that. I wouldn't say it's unique though, because there's lots of people that do Goodreads recommendations and I love their videos. Don't think anyone's done 7 years worth in 1 year, but hey. What else is different? I mean, I'm planning a book game. I'm working on it, but loads of people have book games. I love them. I love book games. I think basically I'm just doing stuff I love. I'm inspired by what I've seen other people do. It looks fun. I want to have the fun. Oh, that's different. I don't know anyone who does this, but so when I buy books and treat myself to books, I don't put them on my shelf straight away. It's my motivation to be healthy. So I've got a bed with drawers underneath it, like built into the bed. And on my side of the bed, I have a drawer that's mainly full of books. So I earn them by doing healthy things. So that might be, you know, doing some back exercises. I sometimes have a bad back, trying to drink more water, trying to eat more fruit, trying to go to bed early, remembering to take my medication. All of those things to help me be a healthier person. Because like most people in the pandemic, I realised my jeans no longer fit. And so I thought I need to start attempting to live healthily before I have health problems. And the way to encourage me to do this was with book bribery. So I'm bribing myself to be healthy with books. So I give myself a certain amount of points, and when I achieve a certain amount of points, I get to get a book out from under the bed. So that's something that I can update you about, what books I've earned. Maybe that's a unique point. I suppose I'm unique in that my opinions will be my opinions and someone else's opinions will be their opinions. And I think that's unique enough for BookTube. I think BookTube is something, we keep inspiring each other. Like I'm totally part of it now. Booktubers keep inspiring each other to create content. Something sparks something else and they have more ideas, and there's just so many good stuff out there. So I think it's just something that keeps evolving. And maybe I will find something unique, but if I don't, that's totally okay, because I think there's definitely like booktubers out there for someone, and audiences out there for you, because I think the majority of this is kind of how much you resonate with someone's reading taste and someone's personality. So I think that is probably the biggest thing. I think it's just trying lots of booktubers to seeing which ones you like and enjoy and want to watch a lot of their videos. I know personally I have like different moods, and I will kind of, if I'm in a calmer mood, then I'll have a calmer booktuber. If I'm wanting more kind of excitement and like fun editing, then I'll pick that one. But like there's so many different things there for everyone. So good. I love BookTube. It's so much fun. Next question. This is a fun question, unlike the last one. What am I excited for? Everything! I'm excited to share my books with you. I'm excited to hear your thoughts about books and have all these discussions, and it's all about the communication. I love the community. It really gives me a lot of joy. Like recognizing comments on other people's videos and then seeing them in the Discord, and then someone might make a comment on someone's video that you think is really cool, and then you reply to that, and then you're discussing that book together, and then I just really enjoy it. It's just such a nice part of the internet. I mean, there are the trolls. They come up everywhere. But generally, it's just such a warm place where people just are sharing the love of reading and the love of how it makes us feel, and just appreciating the brilliant artistry of the writers and the cover designers and the unsung editors. More editors need to be praised because more books need better editing. The ones that are edited brilliantly are great. The one complaint many people seem to have is there should be more editing in the book. So yay for editors. But just appreciating the art of books and the stories that are being told and sharing those and helping people find them. And it's just wonderful. It really is. And I really love it as well when I hear other booktubers talking about each other to try this book and loved it or didn't like it. And, you know, it's just really fun. And I think that continues on to Dischord. I really enjoy Dischord as well. Just the chatting basically is what I am here for. From a more selfish point of view, I'm very much here to kind of like share all of my thoughts. It is like book therapy. Like when I've read a book that I love, or when I've read a book that I nearly loved, but something happened in it, it was so close and I'm so annoyed that it didn't quite go where I wanted it to. I want to talk about that, and being able to do it to a camera is just, it clears that out my head, and then I can carry on with normal life rather than just fuming or being so excited about this book. And being able to put these out into BookTube, then hopefully I will get discussions with people about they thought the same or they thought differently, and that's just nice. I have also found from making a year worth of videos that no one has seen that I have got a lot better, not that you would think it in this one, at talking about books. I've got a lot better about being able to articulate what I want to say from a year's worth of practice. I've also got a lot better from that Scary April video of being more succinct about talking about each book, and not needing to ramble on and on and on and on and on. Although apparently that's gone out the window and I am just rambling. So, you know, editing chatty is going to love me. You need to buy me biscuits. This feels very philosophical. I don't feel ready to be philosophical. Because I do. Because it brings me joy and it keeps me sane. It is just such a nice thing to do. I love it. Like, you get to meet fantastic people through doing this who, yes, I know they don't exist, but that's not the point. I get to go and revisit my book friends. I'm a big rereader. I love rereading my favourites. It's getting to experience it again, getting to hang out with the people you love again, and getting to appreciate different parts of the story that you probably didn't get before. So I love rereading. I love new reading. I love it when that feeling of just being so engrossed in a book that it just takes you and then you have an emotional reaction to it. It's so much. And the excitement of when you find someone who feels the same and loves it the same. And also the interest on seeing how other people felt differently to you is really fun. So for all those reasons, I love reading. For a more interview style tick boxing, I suppose I love the escapism. I love seeing the imagination, especially as a fantasy reader, just these worlds and the magic systems and just some of the whimsicalness and the comfort that gives me is huge. Just appreciating all of that imagination. Also the emotion. I love seeing characters growing and seeing how they change, whether that's for the best or for the worst. But I love being able to experience other people's stories. You know, I am sitting here as a white, privileged, cisgendered, heterosexual, accepted by society person as average expectation. So reading is one way I get to experience like what life is like for people. Like, it opens my eyes, it makes me a more empathetic person, it makes me check myself, it makes me understand what other people go through, and has definitely taken me to my mid-30s to appreciate that lots of people are struggling, and I was just so ignorant of any of that when I was younger. Like, I very much take everything at face value. If it seems fine, I presume it is fine, and my tiny rose-covered cotton wool existence section of the world did not show me all of the hardship that is out there. So being able to see these characters' stories and everything they've had to go through that relate to real people has definitely made me appreciate that life is different for everyone, and that we should definitely try to listen to more people and give them that space and time to shine when not everyone is given the same opportunity. Okay, this is a big one. Here we go. Here is a moment full of anecdotes here. I have been reading my whole life. I come from parents who love to read. Our house was filled with books. I was very lucky in that sense to be encouraged to read, to be brought lots of different books to experience. So I definitely remember I had so many picture books as a child that my parents would read to me. And then I started to read chapter books, and the ones that I can remember was Enid Blyton. I read all of her work, pretty much. I think it would be very rare to find an Enid Blyton book that I did not read. Farm stories, circus stories, mysteries, the fantasy bits, school stories, all of them. I ate them all up. I was aware, reading it, of the sexist feeling within it, but as a child, just wanting a good story with characters you thought you could relate to, I very much enjoyed it. As an adult looking back, I have different opinions on it, but at the time as a child, it was great for me because I just ate them up. And I have a very vivid memory. I was definitely 7 when I was reading Enid Blyton, because one of the book series, the 5 Find Outers, there was a character in that group of 5 who was 8, so she was a year older than me. She was treated like a baby and she acted like a baby, and I felt highly insulted by this. She didn't know the word clues. She called them glues in the first book, and then they reflect in the second book. Oh, do you remember when Bets used to call them glues? And I'm like, I am younger than you, and I know they are called clues. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with all of you treating her like a baby? I'm from Enid Blyton. My mum helped me find other books. She got me into some classics that I love. So Anne of Green Gables, this was her copy. I then found her another one, and I took this one with me to uni, which is the story of many of the books that we've shared. And Bally Shoes, I really love this book, and both of these I was encouraged to read by my mum. My dad has very different tastes. We cross over at some point. So we both enjoy Georgette Heyer's books, her historical romance, her Regency romance. But we're reading it for different things. I'm very much reading it for the comedy of manners. My dad is reading it for the romance plot. His favourite books are war romances of like the Second World War. He always has a book. My mum always has a book, and that has definitely come down to me. My mum, however, is much, our tastes align much better. She loves fantasy like me and children's books like me. I mean, you don't need to guess. You know what that big fantasy series is that everyone knows and needs no introduction. I'm showing you this because I am proud of how old I am, in that I was this age for this book cover. This is my original first Harry Potter with the mysterious weird wizard on the back who nobody knows who he is. So this has survived. It's looking a little bit tattered, but it has survived my mum's reading, my reading, me following my brother around and reading it to him, putting it in a paper padded envelope and lending it to all my friends at school. I do feel proud that I brought this into their lives. You are welcome, everyone. You are welcome. And so, yeah, definitely my friendship group. I even got my husband to read that. I mean, it was very early stages of relationship, so he wanted me to like him. So he read the Harry Potter series. I think you enjoyed it anyway. I mean, you don't love it as much as me, obviously, but I think you enjoyed it. So yeah, I really enjoyed all of that. I have the original books produced for Comic Relief, which also gave me a lot of joy. And this was the first book that I queued up at midnight for. And Mum and I sat in the car. We parked it in a lay-by because we thought we would be questioned on our return as to why we weren't going to bed straight away. You can't go to bed when you've just bought this. So we sat in the car and read the first 2 chapters to ourselves. Then we went home, went to bed. So yeah, I had a great journey with these books. I continue to have a great journey with these books, and I think all that needs to be said is that they are very close to my heart, but trans women are women and trans lives matter. Tolkien with The Lord of the Rings and Terry Pratchett. This was the first Terry Pratchett I read. Not this copy, because this is the beautiful copies that they have now, but the scarier looking paperback copies that some people adore and I don't. So yeah, so she got me into these, which I'm eternally grateful for because I love them. These kind of set the bar for fantasy. They're very different to each other. This is obviously like classic epic fantasy, and this has moments of being like more urban, more folktale-y, more humorous. But I think they both have really good messages in them. There is a lot of, although you don't read them for the themes, you read them for the characters, you read them for the worlds. The themes in them, we all love them, the good against evil, making the right decision, determination, keeping going, loyalty to your friends. We love all that stuff. Well, I do. I love all that stuff. So Mum got me into those. I also really like Mum and I would go to the bookshops and we would find more children's fantasy books that we loved. But other than that, I then kind of moved away to uni, and then I was in my early 20s, living in a flat, starting to kind of like get feet on the ladder of life, and I couldn't justify buying books. The only time I did buy books was when an author that I loved had a new book out, and that was very few and far between. So I loved Chris Riddell and Paul Stewart's work together, and then Chris Riddell started doing his own books. He is my favourite illustrator. It just so happens there is an illustration on that page. I'm going to show you the map. Where's the map? I love his books. Look at that. Just the detail in... it's not focusing. There we go. Focus. It might focus. Just the detail in his work, it gives me all the joy. This is the map of the place that Ada Goth lives, and it is just so detailed, and the world is just so fully realised, and I just love his work. So when he would bring out a new book, I would get that because I love them. And the same with Michelle Paver. I followed this series when she brought books out and bought them each time they were released, and have them all in hardback. And I got my mum reading this, so we shared that pushing forward, back and forth. But then, I mainly, until 2020, I was mainly just rereading books. I would get some from the library, and we did have this collection at work where people just kind of bring in old books and kind of leave them, and then people would take them away, which is where I found a few of these from. So I then did read, I started to read sort of adult books, whereas before, it was very much, apart from Tolkien and Pratchett, it was very much children's books was what I was reading, and Georgia Hare. It was very much, and classics. Okay, so maybe not, but mainly it was children's books that I was reading. So this was kind of like the first darker adult books that I started to read, because Mum didn't read those, and she's my reading buddy. So I got into the Philippa Gregory series. I was quite happy to read and let go. Apart from this one, I do enjoy this one. And the Millennium trilogy, the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I loved this thriller. This was incredibly dark for me. I'd never read anything this violent and scary before. But I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And then just before 2020, we hit the pandemic. I joined a book club with some of the people that I had worked with in the past, and some that I still work with. And so we started reading a range of books. So we read things like Big Little Lies from Leanne Moriarty, and we've just started reading The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. But they're very much kind of contemporary literary classics. We haven't really read a lot of fantasy, because I think I'm the only fantasy reader. So my fantasy education was quite limited until my brother, I don't have the book, so this is like a placeholder, gave me Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson to borrow. Changed my life. I was like, oh my goodness, fantasy books are amazing. Where has this been all my life? Give me more, give me more. And then I just read as much as possible Sanderson, and it was incredible. The other non-BookTube person who has the same reading taste as me is my friend Dave, and he got me into Assassin's Apprentice. And from that, the realm of the Elderlings, he is hyping them up for me. I've only read Farseer, but he's hyping them all up, and I'm very much on the Robin Hobb bandwagon. But I did start reading this around the same time as I started to find BookTube. So then I found BookTube, and then my lists of what I wanted to read got bigger and bigger and bigger, and books started appearing on my shelves, and I decided I was going to start buying books again. And now I need to make myself stop buying books. There we go. That is my life reading in books. You're welcome. You're welcome. Hi, Future Chatty here, just popping in quickly. Filming Chatty did not understand that this video is just supposed to be a small introduction. She got very carried away. It turned into book recommendations at one point, and basically editing Chatty had a really hard time, and it's going to be 2 videos. I mean, there's no newbie tag that is 2 parts, but it is what it is. So there's 2 parts to the newbie tag.